Our top focus at this hour: Israeli soldiers withdrew from Gaza's main hospital after raiding and combing through the facility. Most of Gaza's 2.3 million people have already crowded into the territory's south. A worsening fuel shortage threatens to paralyze the supply of humanitarian services and shut down mobile and internet services. In the latest, the Israeli army says its troops have taken operational control of Gaza port. The port is one of the key infrastructure in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli army says the conflict has killed 50 soldiers in Gaza. The death toll reached 50 after the IDF reported that the deaths of 2 soldiers in northern Gaza. The US president, meanwhile, said that he had made it clear to Israeli Prime Minister that a two-state solution was the only answer to resolve the Israel-Palestinian conflict. But Joe Biden stated it was not realistic to expect Tel Aviv to stop its military actions, given threats by senior Hamas officials that they intended to attack Israel again. Both Israel and its top ally, the United States, said that Palestinian militants have a command center below the Al-Shifa complex. Hamas and directors at the hospital, which has become a focal point in the 40-day-old war, deny the charge. Israel has said that the raid was executed based on an operational necessity. It later said troops had found military and combat equipment inside the compound.
מצאנו בבית החולים אמצעי לחימה, חומרי מודיעין, טכנולוגיות צבאיות וציוד צבאי. בנוסף, הותרה מפקדה מבצעית, ובה אמצעי קשר וטכנולוגיות מבצעיות השייכות לחמאס. הטכנולוגיות והחומרים הועברו למיצוי ובדיקה של גורמי המודיעין.
The Hamas-run health ministry said Israel did not find any equipment or weapons in the hospital during the raid. In a statement, the ministry director said, and I quote, "Essentially, we do not allow weapons in any hospital." Gaza hospital stated Israeli bulldozers destroyed parts of the southern entrance to the hospital.
Machine, and if you follow me behind,
An Israeli army video showed automatic weapons, grenades, ammunition and flak jackets, it said, were recovered from an undisclosed building within the complex. Witnesses in recent days have described conditions inside the hospital as horrific. Witness accounts describe medical procedures taking place without anesthetic, families with scant food or water living in corridors, and the stench of decomposing corpses filling the air. The head of the World Health Organization called the decision to send troops into the hospital totally unacceptable. The situation in Gaza's other hospitals is also dire, with the WHO saying 22 of 36 are not functional due to a lack of generator fuel, damage or combat.
one Hamas terrorist, a live grenade, ammunition, fighting vest with insignia, boots and of course uniforms, and last but not least,
a video released by the Hamas-run Ministry of Health in Gaza claimed to show patients being moved inside the smoke-filled corridors of the Al-Shifa hospital as Israeli forces launch a raid. Health workers and other men are seen trying to cover their mouths and coughing as they move through the building. The Israeli Defense Forces published a video showing soldiers bringing humanitarian aid to Al-Shifa hospital. Military officials say they are striving to minimize the civilian harm. International concern over the fate of the people inside Al-Shifa increased further as news of Israel's raid emerged. Qatar called for an urgent international investigation involving the United Nations. The White House pushed back against Hamas and its claims that Joe Biden was responsible for the hospital raid over U.S. assessments that militants were using Al-Shifa. The National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said, and I quote, "We did not give an okay to Israeli military operations around the hospital." Just hours after receiving its first delivery of fuel since October 7th, the UN warned on Wednesday that its operations in Gaza were on the brink of collapse. The UN agency for supporting Palestinian refugees confirmed receiving 23,027 litres of fuel, but said that it met only 9% of the daily needs. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.